What's going on? My name is Dylan Grech and welcome back to the channel, where today we are going to be continuing on with the MetaTrader 5 series, where today we are going to be discussing, in my opinion, why all Forex traders must use MetaTrader 5. So before we start, I just want a quick pause just to appreciate the style points. So I've created a quick slideshow for today because this is just going to be an introductory video to MetaTrader 5. So it's just going to be me talking and not actually going through the code. So I thought having a quick PowerPoint presentation might be able to help those visual learners like myself. So before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you would kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, particularly if you want to learn more about MetaTrader 5 and learn more about algo trading and how to develop your own algorithmic trading strategies. Hitting that subscribe button and hitting the bell notification button would be really beneficial. It helps me, it could help you as well. And also consider liking the video. I do appreciate all of that. All of my content is of course free, so all I like in return is a quick like of the video. So what are we going to be covering in today's video? Well, I'm going to give a quick introduction into MetaTrader 5, the benefits of using MetaTrader 5, but also the difficulties that come with those benefits as well. I'm going to discuss that too. I'm also going to discuss why I created a TradingView series first, opposed to going straight into MetaTrader 5, because I've gotten some questions already as to why the TradingView series was done when MetaTrader 5 is a much superior system, system. So I'm going to discuss that as well, because I've gotten some comments on that, considering my past video, of course. I'm also going to discuss when to start using MetaTrader 5 in my opinion, and also what this MetaTrader 5 series on this YouTube channel that will be completely free will be able to offer you. So an introduction into MetaTrader 5. Well, in my opinion, this is a must-have for Forex traders. It simulates real trading conditions, which is very important when we are backtesting or even optimizing our trading strategies. It also has much more functionality than other platforms like TradingView and like even MetaTrader 4. And this is a good mid-level algorithmic platform. It's a step above MetaTrader 4 and also TradingView, but it's not something like Python or the like. It's something that's kind of in the middle. And I think particularly if you're very comfortable with MetaTrader 4 or even TradingView, you'd be able to come into MetaTrader 5 with no problems. So the benefits of using MetaTrader 5. Well, the first benefit is you have access to high quality data, and you can even purchase data and import that into your MetaTrader system, and you have really high quality data that expands a longer period of time. And we know sample size is very important, but now we know that the data quality is also very important, where you start to have access to tick data, but also even 1 minute open, high, low, close data, where, for example, other systems do not offer that. And also following on from that, we also have access to spreads, the bid-ask spreads, but also commissions, and those commissions come straight from your broker, because likely the broker that you are using for MetaTrader 5 might be the same broker that you might want to continue trading with when you're actually deploying your trading algorithm or your trading expert advisor. The main benefit, however, in my opinion, as to why traders should be using MetaTrader 5, particularly if you are looking at an algorithmic approach to trading, Forex trading, and even backtesting or optimization, is that we can trade and test on a portfolio of assets. And this is very important, because TradingView and MetaTrader 4 do not offer this. And trading a portfolio of assets, and those assets could be, for example, 28 currency pairs all at once or with one EA, make sure that you are actually simulating as best as possible real life trading scenarios, that if you were, for example, doing a back test, you would actually be back testing the trading strategy as though you were actually trading it in real time at the time of your actual back test. And this is very important, because we want to be simulating as close to possible as to what happened in the past, so that way moving forward we are removing any bias, we are removing any outliers or any assumptions in our trading strategies, and we are getting as close to possible, if not the same, as real life trading conditions. And that is very, very important. So that is the main reason why I think people should be using MetaTrader 5, and that is that access to portfolio, trading a portfolio of assets all at one time. And that, of course, leads on to backtesting and optimization of portfolio of assets, of course. Now, the other main reason as to why MetaTrader 5 is really good is you can create trading robots. Now, we found that TradingView does not offer us to create trading robots. The coding that we did was primarily only for backtesting purposes. However, MetaTrader 4 also does this, but MetaTrader 5 does do it too. Is we can backtest, optimize, and even trade live the exact same trading strategy, and that allows us to create trading robots, and that can actually trade for us. And that leads on to the next one, which is it connects to our broker. So we can have one system, one platform that already connects to a broker. This can be, of course, a demo account, but you also might have a live account with the broker, and we can actually trade through the one system, the one platform, and that's very, very useful and makes things very, very easy. We don't need any API keys or anything like that. Very simple. I love it. However, with the advanced functionality, particularly because of the portfolio of assets functionality, MetaTrader 5 does become a little bit more difficult to use, particularly from TradingView, but also from MetaTrader 4. So there is an increase in difficulty in the actual language itself, and that, of course, is because of the increased functionality. Now, when platforms become more powerful, the actual code behind it, of course, has to compensate for that too, and that's where MetaTrader 5 gets a little bit more challenging. So, of course, there's a big pro when it comes to using MetaTrader 5. However, there are some cons that do accompany that. However, I think the pros do outweigh the cons here. And as I mentioned, if you're coming from a coding background, particularly from an algo coding background, you'll be able to pick this up in no time. The other thing, and this is what some people don't actually discuss, and that is because we are trading EAs, expert advisors, and possibly trading real money with a live account through a trading robot, there's a lot more to worry about because we are now trading real money. So you must ensure that you're doing a little bit extra to ensure that your code is actually performing correctly. And there is another thing that you need to make sure, and that is to actually add in additional codes, additional protocols or safety measures, just in case, for example, a black swan event occurs, that you're not blowing up your account, that you're actually putting in some, for example, kill switches or safety measures within the code itself, just in the unlikely event, but very plausible event in the future that something out of the ordinary might happen. So we need to make sure that rule number one is that our account, our equity is all safe and it's not going anywhere. And if for whatever reason something happens, we're not going to blow up our account or lose too much money. So those safety measures have to be incorporated into the trading strategy. The other thing, and I've just put this one in there, and it's just been a bit picky. It's not pretty, and that's my opinion. I do like looking at TradingView. That's the reason why I actually went to TradingView first, is I like the look of it better than MetaTrader. However, with the functionality of MetaTrader 5 particularly, I think the looks doesn't necessarily matter too much. And we know it's not what's on the outside that counts, it's what's on the inside, and MetaTrader 5 on the inside is much better. So I wanted to add that one in there, but it is what it is, and that's okay. Now, I've gotten some questions from my last video, and that is, Dylan, why did you create a TradingView series when we know now that MetaTrader 5 is much better than TradingView? And the other question is it worth actually revisiting or going through the TradingView series if you're going to be creating this MetaTrader 5 series? So I just wanted to answer those two questions here, just to give a little bit of insight as to, well, for one, why I created this series, but also to when you should actually go back and watch, for example, the TradingView series and then come to this. So first of all, TradingView is a lot easier to start off with and learn how to code, especially in a trading context, and especially if you're coming from a non-coding background and possibly even just starting out in trading. You need to learn both coding and trading both at the same time, for example. TradingView is super easy to actually start off with. on both of those fronts. And that is primarily the reason why I started the TradingView series first, is because I wanted to actually show traders, and those can be experienced traders or even new traders, the world of algo trading and coding, and being able to code your own trading strategies, and how to, essentially fast track your back testing and optimization through code. Now, this is where, for example, I wanted to capture a wider audience as well. And I wanted to actually show a much more broader bunch of people how to code and how to do this. And I think jumping straight into MetaTrader 5 would have lost a lot more people because of those complexities at the start. This is a much harder language to learn. There's much more concepts that you need to learn. It's not as straightforward, for example, as TradingView. However, it is, of course, a much better platform, but those complexities, I think, would have scared a lot of people away. And I think learning not only how to code, how to trade, and the logic behind trading, but also how to use MetaTrader 5, I think that would have been too much for people to handle, and I think we would have lost a lot of people. So that's where the TradingView series comes in. Now, another thing, and I kind of mentioned this, was logic. People need to, especially when coming into an algo space, people need to understand the logic behind trading, and they need to understand how trading operates, because it is very if then else type of terminology, and we need to implement that into code. And so TradingView, of course, does allow us to do that. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to do all of that. And learning the logic within TradingView is very, very important, because then we can transition that into other platforms and, of course, into our trading strategies. So that is very important. And again, I think a lot of people would have been able to learn that within TradingView, but not necessarily learn that in MetaTrader 5, because it would have been too much. So another thing as well is that this is how I learned. So the whole reason, of course, for this channel is to share my journey along the way. And I learned TradingView first because it was, again, pretty hard, but it also was a lot easier to learn too. And I myself, although I had a little bit of coding experience in university, it definitely wasn't at this level. And of course, I was learning trading as well at the same time. So more or less, I wanted to share with you my process and my learnings along the way, and of course, my evolution along the way too. So I've started off with TradingView, and then I've evolved into, I guess, the next iteration, and that is MetaTrader 5. So I wanted to share that too. And the next one and the last point that I want to go through is we have to start somewhere and progress when we're ready. And again, I mentioned iterations. We need to grow our trading strategy, our trading platforms as we grow, and we shouldn't really be jumping or cutting any corners when actually doing this. It's very important to take steps and start off small and then progress when we're ready. And this is why I think TradingView is much better to start off with. And then once you're comfortable with the coding, once you're comfortable with the logic, that's when you progress into something a little bit more advanced, if you will. And that is where MetaTrader 5 comes in. So that goes into my next point as to, well, probably not this point. I'll go back a slide, but it goes into my next point as to when do we start using MetaTrader 5? And in my opinion, we start using MetaTrader 5 when we are comfortable with how to code in TradingView, for example, or even MetaTrader 4, and we are comfortable in actually understanding the logic behind trading strategies, taking your ideas in your mind or what you see on the internet, taking those ideas and then transitioning those ideas from your brain to essentially code on a system, and making sure that your code is operating properly. You're looking back over the charts and everything is working fine. Once you're comfortable with that, once you're fluent, I wouldn't say necessarily fluent, but you're able to actually create your own trading strategies into code, backtest them, even optimize them, for example. This is when you would start thinking about transitioning to something a little bit better, and that is MetaTrader 5. So only when you're comfortable with this, and I think I'll let you be the judge of that. There's no real hard and fast rule that I can actually say, this is when you transition. It's all going to be up to you. I know some people are going to really want to transition, really quickly, even if they might not be ready, because they want to make sure that they're up to date and staying on top of, what's good, instead of learning, for example, something that's going to be obsolete in the next, 6 months as you progress as a trader. And look, that's completely fine. I'll leave it up to you. However, in my opinion, if you're coming from no experience at all, if you are fairly new at trading, and no experience, I mean no coding experience, you're fairly new at trading, I would highly recommend starting off with the TradingView series first, because you're going to learn the logic, how to put your ideas into actual code, and you're going to be learning essentially the foundations of coding. MetaTrader 5 then takes that a little bit further and adds the portfolio aspect, and with that portfolio aspect, it does get a little bit more complicated. MetaTrader just as a whole, and that's 4 or 5, is a little bit more complicated than TradingView. However, it is a lot more powerful. So I'll let you be the judge, but in my opinion, I definitely think if you're very new to this algo space, or even trading in general, TradingView is going to be the go-to first, and then transition once you've made your way through the TradingView series. Once you're able to make your own codes and your own strategies in TradingView, you then come here. So maybe, for example, you are ready to transition. That's when we start to think about this series. So what will this series offer you? Well, it's going to teach you the ins and outs of MetaTrader 5. And by then, you'll be able to understand the language. You'll be able to develop your own trading strategies, add in your own indicators, and these could be indicators that come in MetaTrader, or even custom indicators. We'll be going through that. We're also going to be, of course, learning money management, and also be able to backtest and optimize our trading strategies through MetaTrader 5. And then this is where, from that optimization, we'll then go into, a demo trading account, and even start deploying our expert advisor, our trading robot, into an actual live account with real money, for example. Now, we have tested, of course, a bunch of different trading strategies, and we're going to be going through, some of those trading strategies as well from TradingView, and see how they perform in MetaTrader 5. However, we did see in the last video that transition wasn't necessarily the same, because there's other things we were avoiding, like, for example, spreads, commissions, and the like, and we need to make sure that we are simulating real life conditions, and that's where MetaTrader 5 comes in. So before I finish off, I want to show you this. And let me just go into this screen. So this is what you'll be able to do by the end of it. You'll be able to do something like this. Now, this is where I'm currently at with my, trading strategies and the like, and this is a trading strategy that I have developed. But you'll be able to see, and I guess go along the journey with me to be able to do something like this for yourself. Now, as I mentioned, I'm no expert trader with 10, 20 years of experience in algo trading. For example, I'm just sharing what worked for me in my past, what's working for me now, and even, for example, in the future, what will work for me, then later on. However, this is, something that you can definitely do. I've learned everything that I've learned from the internet. I've never had a mentor. I've never had to pay big money to anybody. In fact, sometimes, this has happened to me, the more money I pay, the worse content I get. And it's absolutely crazy. I've paid for a course that was a lot of money, trash. I've joined a prop firm, which was a lot of money, didn't learn much at all. And so a lot of the things that have actually worked out for me, I've learned on the internet from other YouTubers, from other, resources, websites, and the like. And hopefully this and everything I've learned will be able to help you as traders too. So by the end of this series, you'll be able to produce something like this. You'll be able to know everything that I know about algorithmic trading, particularly in MetaTrader 5. And you'll be able to start creating trading strategies, profitable trading strategies that look, similar to this. For example, this is 1 year's worth of data on a 1 hour time frame. And this was optimized for 50% of the actual length of what's being shown on the screen, and the other 55% or 50% was an out of sample test. So look, it's not 100% great, but I just wanted to show you, and a profitable equity curve, I guess, just to show that I've got a little bit of skin in the game, and I have a little bit of credibility of if that's worth anything. So so this is this, and I also wanted to show you that anything's possible, and this is possible, and you don't have to pay mega bucks to anyone to learn all of this, or buy someone's expert advisor, or buy someone's something. You can do this all yourself if you're a little bit cluey, you're a bit passionate about trading, particularly algo trading and coding, you're passionate about that. You can do it. Anyone can do it. It's not easy, but it's not impossible either. So I wanted to show you that. So anyway, that's probably me for today. So this has just been an introductory video to the whole, I guess, series that we're going to be moving forward. I might refer to this as like a series or a course or the like. I hate referring to this as a course because it sounds like I'm charging you money for it. I'm not. The only thing I'm charging you, and again, it's optional, but I highly recommend, is a smash of the like button and a subscribe to the channel, because it means a lot to me. It helps the channel out, and that's all I ask in return for, I guess, the free content, the free course, if you will, that I provide for you. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the new series, the new episode. Learning something new is always something that's very fun. It's also challenging. However, I hope I don't lose a lot of people along the way, and I hope people can see the value in learning algo trading for MetaTrader 5. So with all that being said, hope you like this video, different type of video. But I also give me the feedback for the style points as well. I do appreciate it. With all that being said, thank you very much for tuning in. For those that tuned in to the end, you're the MVPs. I appreciate all of you. Happy trading out there. Happy algo trading out there as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.